I'm here with my gorgeous daughter Georgia, just back from the USA from
Yes, I am.
yes, first year of uni done and dusted. So that was a quick 9-month stint.
It was crazy. I can't believe my freshman year is already over. It went so quickly.
Yeah, it's been exciting. It's been fun for us as parents watching you go over there and put yourself outside your comfort zone and going for it.
Yeah, it's been an insane amount of fun, among many other things for me as well.
Yeah. So what we want to do today is just sit down and basically have a chat to you about the 16 different stages that you need to go through as part of the process, some of the issues that we faced, some of the challenges that we faced, and how we dealt with them. So I'll quickly run through the 16 stages and then we'll deal with each one of them individually. So initially there's the ideas phase, when you first get the idea of, look, this is an option for me, studying overseas. Then there's the discovery phase of what does it mean to be an elite athlete, and you then start to get into the investigation phase of going into the detail around colleges, college life of a student athlete, getting a globally recognised degree, all of these sorts of things. That then leads into the decision-making phase. Am I committed to this? Am I going to go? Then you start with planning. So I'll just whip through these. You then go into the personal growth and academics and sports side of things. So your goal setting around your academic targets that you need to achieve, the standardised testing results, setting goals for your sports, because obviously the higher your academics, the higher your sports, the more opportunities that open up to you. In this process, you need to be building your personal brand, so social media,
For sure.
Sports videos, those sorts of things. Then comes the time to start engaging with coaches, building a relationship, building rapport with the coaches, then negotiating offers, because coaches need to know, like, and trust you before they're going to make you an offer. You're then going to make a commitment to the coach, a verbal commitment. The coach is going to do the same for you. And then you're basically going to seal the deal by formalising it with your national letter of intent. And then there's the whole, visas,
all the other,
everything that goes with it, NCAA eligibility, applications, blah, blah, blah. Then, bam, touchdown in the States. That was exciting, that was fun.
It was the first time we'd been to the States as well, so it was a new experience for all of us.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's pre-season, and then there's the first semester. So, lot to cover. So we'll jump in. First up, we'll start with the idea phase. Now, I remember pretty clearly when you first put it out there that you wanted to go and study overseas. Do you remember that?
Is that when I was 3?
No, well, that's when you wanted to be dropped off at someone's house and you didn't care where. So there's an indication of independence. Yep.
For me, I think I was, maybe 13. I was talking about potentially studying overseas, and at the time I think I was looking into the UK, and then I stumbled across the whole play my sport, go to college, America, degree, everything I wanted in one. So I don't remember the exact moment, but
I do.
I'd love to hear it.
You came home from school with the A4 sheet of paper and you put it on the bench and you said,
yes,
I don't mind which one I go to, Oxford or Cambridge, and it was a summer break.
It was a 3-week
live-in
course.
3-week course on psychology, and you go, I don't mind, I'll go to either. And nah. But at least you had an idea about what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then it was, right, let that idea mature and go through a process, and then that leads sort of nicely into the discovery phase, which we'll cover off in the next video. But basically, what if you want to know more about USA Sports Scholarships, the process, and having a fast-track, step-by-step process that you can go through all of these 16 areas without not taking any risk, no big financial commitments, fast-tracking your research, then our 30-day game plan is going to be potentially a good thing for you to do that. So if you want more information on that, just go to www.usain30days.com, and there's a free video there, and no big decisions or commitments to make. Just watch the free video, and if it's of interest to you, then you can take the next steps from there. So, discovery. We found out about USA Sports Scholarships through a recruitment agency, and we were grateful for that. It certainly opened our eyes to what was on offer. So that sort of really got you
100%.
excited?
Yeah, so I received a letter from a recruitment company inviting me to a trial day.
Yep.
Basically where they would assess our skills, assess different things. They showed us videos and things like that about what college is, what it's like in America, what level of play we were at, to see what division we could go into. So that was kind of my discovery process for that.
Yeah.
So I went to that day, and from there, like, that piqued my interest. I was like, this opportunity is something that, like, I really want to look into. So
Yeah, and that was sort of digging a little bit deeper into that process of that combine is what they're commonly referred to. Certainly, the recruitment company opened our eyes to the opportunity, and that was good. It got us started on that path, but as far as the assessment day, it was like 100 kids running around a bunch of basic drills with people ticking off a sheet, but those people were they weren't hockey players.
About
they
the
had
sport. They would
yeah.
They were just people who worked for the company, just being like, okay, like,
yeah.
you
So
can do this, you can't do this. Like,
yeah, so it was, how much value was in that process? I don't know, but
it was valuable for me, I think, because it kind of enlightened me to what the opportunity was, not specifically because of the day I had.
Yeah, and then so the next process was then, the investigation phase, and that's where we sat down, went into a whole interview process, which is effectively the consultative sales funnel of a lot of recruitment agencies, and it certainly painted the picture, which was good. And the next step in that process was making a decision of whether we do or don't go with an agency, and we did go with an agency, and that cost us nearly $5,000. But at the end of the day, we still had to do all the work.
Yeah, for sure. So we ended up, I had to build my own profile entirely. I ended up being the one contacting the coaches. I ended up doing pretty much everything along with my parents, just ourselves, even though what we were told was that they would be doing it all for us. So the offers I was getting, or the coaches who were contacting me from this company, were just not the kind of offers I was looking for at all. So we ended up taking our own path
through a connection. So a friend reached out and made a connection with a coach in the States, and we were able to build relationship directly with them. And we should have been doing that from the start, but we just missed. We had an impression from the process that we were taken through that there was going to be a lot more done in that consultative or recruitment process than actually was. And so that's part of our naivety, and I guess that process really led to USA Sports Scholarship being formed in the first place. So it was our experience on both sides of the fence, from using a recruitment agency to having to go it alone, and then all the challenges that we identified.
Done both aspects.
Like
we thought that we could make something that would really help anyone else who had maybe even the slightest interest, just to discover more about it.
Yeah, so not make the same mistakes that we made, and also create more opportunities because you're better informed, and you've got a game plan that you can create for yourself, and that comes into that planning process. Whether you're going it alone or whether you're using an agency, you still need to do the majority of the work, and you still need to take control of the process. So what USA Sports Scholarship .com and our 30-day game plan is about giving you the tools and the education so you understand how things really work behind the scenes, so that you can make better informed choices of whether you do or don't go with an agency, and if you're going with an agency, which agency, and then if you are with an agency, understanding that you still need to control and drive the process. So this, from a personal growth perspective, there's two key aspects to the sports scholarship process. There's the academic side of things. So you're a student athlete.
Student being the priority.
Yeah, it matters, because it doesn't matter how much the coach loves you or wants you. You need to
hold a certain academic level for you to actually be able to.
Correct. You've got to jump over that minimum hurdle.
Sport. Yeah. There's an absolute base minimum. Each college has a different one, I believe, but there's also an NCAA eligibility absolute minimum as well.
Yeah, and then depending on what sport you're on, there's NCAA, there's different divisions in NCAA, then you've got NAIA, then you've got the junior college system, the NJCAA, so bunches of acronyms.
There's so many different opportunities in so many different areas.
Yeah, and you need to be in control and drive which is going to be the right opportunity and option for you. In that whole process, personal branding, your social media, not just at the time that you're applying for college, but your social media history is a really big issue. You need to control that process. You need to understand the influence and impact social media has on your recruitment process.
100%. All the colleges, all the coaches, all the people from those teams, they look to your social media profiles to try and find out more about you as a person. And so, like, as much as it kind of sucks, like, you are judged from your social media profiles. And that's not to say that you have to look perfect, you have to look da-da-da-da. You just don't want any kind of negative things reflecting in your social media.
Yeah, and you share it, you own it. So if you see something controversial that you think's funny and you want to share it with your friends because you think it's cool or hip, or you're doing stuff on video that you think's like funny and hip, it can really come back to bite you. So there's plenty of stories that we hear when we're talking to coaches where kids have had their scholarships cancelled or revoked because of just
things they've done on social media, videos they've shared, videos they've posted.
Yeah, and not necessarily intending to be outrageously offensive or that sort of thing, but the things that they do and say are just inappropriate, and it's done in the moment, but then you throw it up on social media, or your friends throw it up on social media, it goes viral and it comes back to bite you. So you've just got to be really, really conscious, and your personal brand follows you into your career, right? So you just need to be make good choices, and our 30-day game plan takes you through that whole process of building personal brand, controlling what people can and can't put on your feeds and tagging and that sort of thing, and just
also how to like alternate privacy settings and whatnot, so that you control who is doing what on your profile and who and what other people can see as well.
Yeah, 100%, because your personal brand is your biggest asset. You want to protect it for sure.
In all areas of life too.
100%.
Like not just the recruiting process, or like once you have your scholarship, it's not just in that area. It impacts many areas of your life throughout your entire life as well.
Yeah, for your career, and the bigger the personal brand that you create and followings, if it's done right, it's a massive asset to you that can be worth a lot of money to you down the track if you utilise that following correctly. Having said that, just be conscious of the rules of the association that you're competing under as a student athlete on scholarship, because there are rules and restrictions about what you can do to monetize your profile and your personal brand and that sort of thing. So, but after college, it's yours. So yeah, we spend a fair bit of time on that in the 30-day game plan. So if you want more information on that, just go to usain30days.com. If you have any problems with that, just put the 3 W's and a dot in front of it. Okay, so engaging coaches, that's always a tricky one.
Yeah, it's a tough process because coaches receive so many contacts from so many people all the time. So occasionally you do feel like you're reaching out to them and they're just receiving absolutely nothing in return. But you need to be mindful that they are crazy busy, every single one of them. They have so much to do all the time, and like they will get around to it though.
Yeah. So the thing to remember in this process too is that the coaches aren't allowed to, in most sports, they're not allowed to contact you up until you're a year 11.
They have certain restrictive periods, even once they are allowed to contact you. There's, I can't remember the exact term for it, but there's certain periods throughout years where they just can't contact you. So even if you do reach grade 11, for a couple of months out of that year, the coaches aren't allowed to contact you, but you can contact them.
Yeah.
Or there's other times where they can just have no communication with you at all, and it's very complicated. It's a very complicated process. So
Yeah, and we give you the tools. We give you tools, tips, and ideas in the 30-day game plan on how to engage with coaches. If you're going it alone, how do you track whether they're opening the things that you're sending them, whether they're seeing it, so that you can get feedback without the coach actually having to respond to you, because in a lot of cases they may not be able to, either because they don't have the time or by the rules that they're governed by, they're not allowed to. So, and same with our Game Changer platform is a platform for you to engage and connect directly with coaches, that they can follow you on everything that you're doing. So once you've engaged with the coaches, it is a process of them getting to know you. So the personal branding and the engagement in the 30-day game plan teaches you how to position yourself so that you stand out. As an international athlete, there's some really cool things that you can do. And then there's building the relationship. So that's them getting to know you, getting to like you both ways, you liking the coach and the coach liking you. That then builds trust, and that's where offers come from. So the negotiating an offer process, most people think that a scholarship is full scholarship, and a full ride is typically only available in a couple of different sports where it's really common. Most other sports, particularly for first years, it's a partial scholarship.
Yeah, so scholarships for everyone in every sport in every year level are different, but as you're saying, most programs and most sports rarely give out full scholarships. It's always like a partial scholarship, so you'll get 50%, you'll get 60%, you might get a book scholarship and different types of scholarships and different percentages, and they can also change every year you're at college. So you might go into your freshman year on a 55, 65, 75% scholarship, and then going into your sophomore year, if they're happy with the way you're playing and they see improvement and they really like you, they might give you some more, or they might give you a book scholarship or some kind of additional things, and it can change each year as well. Yeah, exactly. So it's not prescriptive. There's a lot of variables that come into play, and we cover off on that a fair bit in other videos. So once you've built that relationship with the coach, they've made a commitment to you in making a verbal offer, which is non-binding. You then make a commitment to them in a verbal confirmation that, yeah, look, I'm happy with that. Yes, I want to go to your college. And then post that, there's sealing the deal, which is a national letter of intent in the NCAA system, where you are then formally making a commitment to that college. And whilst it doesn't force you to go, it provides security for the college and security for you that you know that you've got this offer. Now, if you change your mind, then you still are not forced to go over there, but at least you've got security around the offer and you know where you're going, and you should, in your own mind, before you sign that, know that you do intend to go. Yeah. So you're not wasting everybody's time and your time. And then from there, it's then going through the process of getting your visa, formalising the NCAA eligibility if you're with the NCAA, or whatever other processes you need to go through each association. Yeah, there's so many aspects, like paperwork type things that you need to go through after you sign your letter of intent that you've got to do before you can head over there.
Yep, and we give you a checklist so that it makes sure that you stay on track with everything that you've got to do. And then once you get to that letter of intent phase, then the college will give you a whole list of things that you need to do over the 3 months. And word to the wise, kids, when your parents hound you about giving you all the information, give them all the information, because otherwise what happens? You miss things, and you miss dorm allocations, and you end up with a whole random set of events because you're not ticking the boxes as you go.
Yeah, so what he's talking about there is in one of the emails I received from my coach and from the college, it spoke about choosing room allocations for my freshman year and being able to request a person and how to find out who to request, and they'll put me in contact with other athletes, girls from other sports or girls within my area, and I didn't see it. My mum asked me to send her on all the information. I didn't do that either, and so we missed all of that, and I ended up in a different dormitory with a girl I didn't know. While she was still lovely, I have absolutely no issues with her whatsoever, but I ended up transferring dorms to roommate with one of my best friends as well. So
Yeah, so follow the process.
Pay attention.
Yeah, mark your deadlines, put them on a calendar, and so you don't miss that. So that was sort of the preparing to go phase and getting visas and all of that process. And then, bam, in your case it was on a plane straight to New York.
Yep.
A couple of days in New York.
Flew into LA, then we went into New York, spent 2 nights in there, sightseeing a little bit before driving down to my college. So
Yeah.
got to see the sights a little bit, experience a little bit of the big city.
Yeah, and so that was really everything that we'd done in relation to campus life, and everything was all done online from Australia. So it was
So we'd sorted everything out before heading to America. So when we arrived, I didn't have to worry about any of that kind of thing. So when I got there, I was just able to enjoy my first couple of days there with my family and sightseeing and whatnot before saying goodbye to them and heading into pre-season.
Yeah, so we lobbed it. We arrived into town and got a guided tour from the coach of the university and got to see your locker for the first time and all of your kit. And then
So we walked in. I absolutely love my coach. She's hilarious and she's such a great person. So we head to her office, and then she took us downstairs of our main building into our locker room, and I saw my uniform, I saw my kit, I saw all of the shirts, all of the jackets, all of the items they'd given us. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, in Australia, we get nothing like that. Like, all the teams I've played for, like, you have to buy your own stuff. They don't give you anything. If you want an additional shirt, you've got to go buy your own stuff. So having all of this there was, like, just kind of surreal. I was like, oh, this is legit.
Yeah, cool. And our first night in town, you're straight onto social media with the teammates you'd never met, and then all of a sudden you're going out to dinner with a bunch of people, and they rock up in a car and whisk you off, and we'll see you a few hours later. So you'd already bonded and had that relationship with your teammates even before you got there.
Yeah, so I'd been talking to all of my classmates, so all of the other freshmen, months before I headed off. I found them on Instagram, they found me, joined Snapchats, things like that. So I kind of got to know them a little bit before as well. And then something which was really good my team did, they had an entire team group chat which I was added into, and they had these like intro emails that they did over the summer to describe like who they were, what they were doing, things like that. So like I'd reached out to all of those other girls as well, and they'd also reached out to me. So I'd already gotten to talk to and gotten to know a little bit about a bunch of my teammates before I'd even landed in America. So by the time I was in like my college town, I was already making connections with a ton of the girls already.
Yeah, cool. And then pre-season, so you had 2 weeks in the dorm with all of your teammates, and then getting into pre-season.
Yeah,
how'd you find that?
Moving in was interesting. So we had to fit all of my stuff and go find some more stuff into this little dorm room where I was rooming with another girl from my team, and all of the freshmen were living in this certain area of the dorm, and all of the upperclassmen were just staying at their own houses or their own apartments because they already knew where they were living. And pre-season we trained twice a day for a couple hours each day, and then we'd have like a break in between. So we'd have a morning session and an afternoon session, and it was a really good opportunity because as a team we did a bunch of different activities together as well. So it was a really good opportunity to get to know the team, to get to know the campus, to get to know my coaches and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, awesome. And then so semester one, we'll touch on that relatively briefly. You went over there, you spent 3 months, main season, like hectic, lots of travel.
Yeah.
And then came home for Christmas, and then you went back for the spring season. So you want to talk us through those little phases?
So college started and we had to figure out what classes we wanted to do because so my college is a liberal arts one, so we have to hit off different requirements for different areas to graduate, and so I had absolutely no idea about the process or any of that because obviously I'm Australian and life works a bit differently over here. So I was talking to some of my teammates about that, and they helped me figure out what classes I wanted to do. And we also had a couple of academic advisors which were super helpful, super lovely, like helped all of us through that process. And then we moved into our actual dorms, and they're all over the place, all over campus, so that was a fun experience. And in season we played 1 or 2 games a week. We also had home games and away games, so we'd often leave like Friday morning or Thursday night for some away games and then get back Sunday night for those. But they were all,
Yeah.
it was all good fun.
Yeah. And then you have access to personal trainers, to medical staff, to specialist coaches. You have access to, as you talk about, academic advisors. If you need academic support, then you've got your study buddies and tutors and whole bunches of different things. So you really, the whole system is set up to make sure that you succeed. You know, all the support is there.
So many people, so many different systems, so much in place to help you do be as successful as you are willing to let yourself be.
Yeah.
Like you can, so our team has our own fitness guru. So we have like a strength and conditioning coach. We have our own personal trainer. We have our own physiotherapist kind of person. We have an academic advisor. We just have so many different people who are all there just to help our team, as well as so many other resources outside of them as well that are all there for you in sporting and academic areas.
Yeah. So that's basically the 16 stages or phases that you go through. And as I said, our 30-day game plan is designed to fast track you through that process so that you can make a decision whether the opportunity of studying in the USA, getting an internationally recognised degree, and living and playing as an elite athlete's right for you. And then it also gives you the insider secrets on how the process really works so that you can make better, more informed decisions if you're going to go through a recruitment agency. And if you are with a recruitment agency, how do you still take control of the process? So www.usain30days.com if you want to know more information about that, and there's just another free video there for you to go through. And then if you are interested in going through the process, then the next steps are really easy and you can take it from there. So Georgia, loving having you back.
Yes.
And thank you for your insights.
Anytime. If you guys have any more questions for me, feel free to ask. I'm always here to help out, answer anything you guys are interested in if you want.
Throw them in the comments.
Yeah.
Throw them in the comments below. Awesome.
We'll get back to you, so yeah.
Good luck with your sports scholarship journey.